Hi guys, welcome to this short video about the question what I recommend to check on your end when you're going to buy a home, especially when you're going to buy one with like a normal buyer's agent and a lot of help. Then most people think you are covered 100%. You don't have to check a lot from your end, but actually that's not the case. So if you're going to buy a new home, and especially when you need some financing, which I guess most people need these days because of the very high prices, then the lender will usually ask for an inspection, appraisal, survey, title search, and maybe even more. By the way, this is of course recommended anyway, even if you don't need financing. And now, since you usually have even a buyer's agent, there are so many parties involved who ask for thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands depending on the sale price. And they are producing a lot of documents with hundreds of pages, which a lot of them you have to read and sign. So you would think they cover pretty much all the risks there, but yeah, actually, nope, that's not the case. There's at least one big risk which nobody feels responsible, and that's permits. But actually not open permits, because they are usually but not always checked in the title search. But here I'm talking about permits which have never been pulled because people forgot, or rather they actually wanted to avoid the cost for that. So my advice is to check at least regarding the big topics which are usually highlighted in the listing, like AC 2021, new pool heater 2022, new electric panel 2018, new window 2022, and so on and so on. For example, here in this listing we have the overview with some pictures here, and when we go down we find these items here in the about this home. For example, here they are in this area. You can see some of them mentioned here. And then you take these items and compare to the list of permits which usually are provided by the title search. Or you just go to the city or county website and check for permits and compare if there are permits for all these items. If things are missing, especially when these things have been upgraded after the last sale, which means that the party selling you the home has done this without permit, and hence after the closing you yourself would be responsible for missing permits, and you could even be fined for that. So for example, in this situation we can see a lot of things 2016, 2017, and then when we go down in the listing you can see usually a history what has happened that starts here. You can see 2021, when we go down 2019, 19, so you can see all these updates are somewhere in this area here. There's a little bit crazy gap here. I don't know where that's coming from, but these major upgrades were definitely in this area here. But unfortunately, you can see that this home has since sold a couple of times. That's also something which is a little bit weird here. Somehow could indicate that there is some problem regarding this home, maybe strange neighbor whatsoever. But anyway, we can see that it has been sold a couple of times after these renovations. So it's very difficult to hold the current seller accountable for these changes, because they will just say, oh, we have no clue, we don't know, and so on and so on. So really make sure that you check also regarding this, because I can really tell you nobody will check, and I can tell you these problems can really happen, because yeah, it just happened today for me while I was checking documents for closing for next week. I saw this and now I'm somehow in trouble, because that can't be fixed in such short time, and I don't want to back out from the contract and maybe even lose the escrow which I already paid. But also I don't want to delay the closing, because I have no other options, and the seller probably isn't willing to do anything and is coming up with just excuses, and nobody feels responsible for the error, even though there's around $50,000 paid in commission and fees for the whole transaction for all the involved parties. That's quite a shame, especially regarding the lending process. You have to pull down your pants, you are investigated, everybody checks everything, and then at the very end you find out that nobody checked for these very important things. Maybe also the question to you, what you think, who do you think should actually be responsible to check for such things before they become a problem? I've been Googling a little bit for that, and for me it indicates that maybe during the inspection, I mean, when you pay somebody like a professional inspector, you pay maybe $700 or even $1,000 for an inspection, then I think it could be also the inspector's responsibility to check that, because in our inspection report I've seen that he has checked some of the renovations. He must have checked some permits definitely and compared with the situation how it looks at the moment. He can see what's new, what's old, and especially with some electric equipment like a water heater, AC, pool heater or so. Usually there are labels on these devices where you can see the manufacturing date or even installation date. And that's the only guy who looks so close regarding these items. But of course, I also think that the buyer's agent who is checking more for the listing, that stuff which is in the listing, and I mean the agents, they make the most money these days for an average home size, could be easily $20,000 which they make. So I think it wouldn't hurt them to do a couple of extra checks. And so in our case, somehow our buyer's agent felt probably a little bit responsible, and so he offered us $500 back from his commission, which we didn't take because I think it was not clearly their responsibility. So what do you think? Yeah, it would be really interesting to learn from you what you think about this case. Please write everything down into the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.